Fox 10 Gulfstream. This is Next Weather.
All right, here's what we're tracking across the Gulf Coast as we have another cold night tonight. A little colder than last night with the actual air temperatures. The wind chill will not be as bad, but a light freeze is possible in the inland spots. Sunny skies will be around as we go through the rest of the week, and temperatures are improving big time in the forecast. Tonight, though, looking at the numbers for the next 10 hours, you can see all the way through 4 a.m. we'll start dropping down through the 40s. A rapid fall to the temperatures if you have evening plans, and then overnight getting into the upper 30s approaching daybreak. We do have a freeze warning for the first freeze of the season. That first light freeze usually prompts a freeze warning. It does not mean that we're concerned about the pipes busting tonight, but we will see that first freeze could be an issue for those tropical variety plants. And looking at what's going on in the water vapor loop, you can see a tongue of very dry air across the region that is now fully in place and all the way down to the surface with dew points in the teens today. That's why it's going to be cold tonight. Dry air around means no rain, and that'll be the case in the forecast going forward into Thursday and Friday. No sign of any precip until you get out over the Gulf of Mexico. A little moisture return there. Saturday looks dry. And guess what? Sunday looks dry too, as the theme of having drought conditions continues to be an issue going forward in the forecast. Maybe a few clouds by Sunday afternoon. Forecast low temperatures for tonight. We're talking low 30s. Leakesville, Chatham, Calvert, Evergreen, Bruton. Right around 31, 32 degrees. Mobile and Fairhope at 35. Pensacola at 41. Gulf Shores at 40. And then tomorrow, doing a little better. Some sunshine, some lighter winds, a little easterly breeze, and hey, it'll feel good out there. Fairhope and Mobile in the middle 60s, upper 60s. Bay Minette, Atmore, and Bruton, and we're heading back into the 70s by the weekend. Unfortunately, no rain with that, as you saw in the Futurecast. And looking at it, 73 Friday, 76 Saturday, and 78 on Sunday. So with all this cold air rolling in, it's hard to believe that the tropics are still fairly active. November storms can happen, but what are the chances of a November storm affecting us? You know, the Atlantic Basin is a really big area, so could we ever see anything in the Gulf? Meteorologist Matt Barentine breaks down the numbers.
Well, we're not quite done with hurricane season just yet, but boy, we have been through a lot of storms so far this year, all the way through Tammy. That would make 19. They're actually adding in a subtropical storm before the season started for 20 named storms so far here this year. But like I said, the season's not over yet. November, we can have storms, and this is since 1950. There have been 84 named storms, so a little bit more than one per year. And there's two main development regions. One's out here in the central Atlantic, and the other that we have to keep a closer eye on is down here in the very western part of the Caribbean, because every once in a while, a storm that forms here can try to work its way up into the Gulf of Mexico. And since 1950, only three named storms have managed to make landfall on the northern Gulf Coast. That would be Hurricane Juan back in 1985, Tropical Storm Ida back in 2009, and Hurricane Kate, which made landfall as a Category 2 storm just before Thanksgiving in 1985. So hurricane season isn't quite over yet. It's pretty rare, though, to get one up into our part of the Gulf Coast, but we'll be keeping an eye on it through the end of the month. In Mobile, Matt Barentine, Fox 10 News.
All right, well, we're gearing up for some football this weekend, and meteorologist Jennifer Lambers has a detailed look at those forecasts.
Well, this weekend is going to be a busy time for some football games, and we just saw the cold weather, so how are things shaping up? Well, let's go ahead and start off first with tomorrow night, South Alabama at Troy, and temperatures around kickoff going to be resting in the mid-50s for that 6:30 p.m. kickoff. By halftime, temperatures in the upper 40s, and by the end of the game, mid-40s. Bundle up and wear layers if you are heading up to Troy. Now, also heading into this weekend, we have Auburn at Vanderbilt. Now that game kicks off at 3 p.m. Temperatures in the upper 60s around that kickoff time. By halftime, we're still continuing in the upper 60s and then finally cooling down to the lower 60s by the time things are wrapping up. That sunset time, 5:48, but staying sunny and staying dry. Now also here in Mobile, we have the Port City Classic kicking off on Saturday at 4 p.m. at Ladd-Peebles. And we have Grambling State hosting Alabama State. Now temperatures around kickoff kickoff. Mid-70s by halftime, lower 70s, and by the time things are wrapping up, mid-60s. And we can't forget about Alabama hosting LSU. Now, this game kicking off at Bryant-Denny Stadium at 6:45. Temperatures around kickoff mid-60s. By the time the game is ending, mid-50s. It is going to be chilly. Another one that you want to have those layers ready to go. We'll continue to monitor the forecast and keep you updated right here on Fox 10. Reporting in studio, meteorologist Jennifer Lambers, Fox 10 News.
Here's our 7-day forecast, and we have no rain in the forecast and some warmer weather too. Look at the 70s out there. 76 on Saturday, 78 Sunday. Monday still in the upper 70s and dry through next week. Overnight lows come up some too in your long range forecast.